Hey, what's up guys? John here. American small business owners have $3 trillion in debt, loans, and bonds that they need to refinance this year, at a time in which 43% of U.S. small businesses are presently unable to pay their rent in full.
Small business owners have the highest national rent delinquency rate. 43% of small business renters were not able to pay their rent in full or on time in April.
This is going to cost small business owners roughly $380 billion in additional interest due to where interest rates have risen when they initially took out their loans, where they have to refinance now. What this means is we're going to likely see something really big here. I believe we're going to walk into an amazing opportunity to invest in real estate. I always want to see the bright side of things, and it's not going to be great for everybody, that's for sure. But if you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you are somebody that is, a survivor, you're really a fighter, you want to really take advantage of this wealth transfer, put yourself in a really strong place. Because when you look at these facts, it kind of indicates one thing, that a lot of people are about to get left behind. I mean, look at this, for example. Bloomberg, 43% of small businesses were unable to pay their rent in full. 43%. That is absolutely shocking. Now, how many small business owners hire, what percent of America? Well, 47.5% of Americans work for a small business, which equates to 58.9 million employees. 58.9 million. Now, if you look at 58.9 million right here, 43% of that figure means 25 million Americans are working for a small business unable to pay their rent. Now, not when they're going to refinance their debt at much higher rates. We're going to start to see a major shift in the overall job market, unlike anything we've ever seen before. Remember a couple of years ago, everybody was, leaving one job to go somewhere else, make 20-30% more. There was money everywhere. I mean, like, people were making millions in NFTs, and it was a free-for-all. It was crazy. Well, now what we're going to walk into, it's going to be the opposite. We're going to start to see consumers looking at every last dollar, and it's going to be more of a survival type of game that's going to be going forward. And I believe the corporations, they're well positioned for this. They are able to cut costs. They're controlling shipping and distribution. They have consumers. The consumers have shaped their habits over the last 4 years to make a lot more buying decisions online, on these devices, on these apps. And it's given them great monopoly, a great power over America. Now, when you start to look at what small business is going to go through, and you look at the fact that 70% of small 2 to 4 unit rental properties are owned by everyday American investors. I'm not talking corporations. I'm talking mom and pop business owners. They own a duplex, they own a fourplex, they own a little house. 70%. This is going to we're going to likely see a lot of these small business owners being forced to sell off these properties. And I think this is how this great wealth transfer is going to go down. I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on and why I believe the next year or so is going to change America forever. Please hit the like button, people share the content, educate more people about what's really going on in our economy. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for what I believe is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item in your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free call for tomorrow. Take a look at this. And this is crazy. Came out today. Higher interest rates. It cost $380 billion. Companies $380 billion in slowly unfolding crisis. Now, this came out saying that it's going to be a $3 trillion balloon payment essentially due in 2024. The largest expense is expected to occur in 2024 with more than $3 trillion in loans and bonds set to mature this year. I don't think people understand how big of a deal this is. Like, we're going to see so many businesses being forced to close up shop because their costs are going to be going up. Think about this if you're a small business owner. You have a retail store. Your insurance likely went up. Your taxes went up. Your energy bills have went up. Your borrowing costs have went up. Your labor costs have went up. Yet consumers are making more buying decisions somewhere else. They don't have the type of money they had a couple years ago. It's a problem. It's a really big problem. I think we're going to see a lot of these properties being sold. A lot of these investors that own a lot of these retail strip centers, I think, are going to be forced to sell these properties because these properties are heavily predicated based on the rents. And rents, they're not going to pay $10,000 a month or $5,000 a month in rent if there's a ton of options out there because all these other businesses are closing up. It's going to be a race to the bottom for a lot of these investors that own these properties. And I think when these investors are also going through a very challenging time with high borrowing costs, high insurance, high taxes, it's going to be an issue where they're likely to be selling. So it's going to be a ripple effect. When you look at the amount of wealth held by small business owners through their properties and through their investments, and you look at the investors owning these retail centers, it's all moving to the top. That's what's going to happen. The top 5% of the overall American economy is going to be the ones that are likely going to acquire a lot of this wealth. I mean, this is absolutely crazy because I made a video in December saying, you know what, I don't think we're going to see any rate cuts at all in 2024. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're not going to see it. And obviously we have not yet. But then the Fed came out today, May 30th, and said, Fed Williams says inflation is too high and will start coming down soon. Then the Fed also comes out today, 2 days ago rather, and they said that many more months of good inflation data before cutting rates. So you think about this, they're not going to cut rates. They're going to drive America and the small business owner off of a cliff as they start to, really consolidate a lot of this wealth. This is what's actually going on. This is the real, wealth transfer that I've been talking about. It's not going to be a wealth transfer between the middle class to the middle class. It's going to be the middle class that really understands where we're going, and they're positioning themselves in advance of this, and they're going to try to acquire as much as they possibly can to build out a moat of safety around themselves and their family in a crazy world that we now live in. That's what's going to happen. And then those that are not acquiring those assets, it's going to go straight to the large corporations. They're going to buy tens of thousands or more homes. They're going to buy a lot of these businesses. They're going to automate a lot of this through automations, through robotics, through tech. We're just going to see an overall shift in all types of commerce over the next couple of years. And it's happening so quickly. It's happening so fast. New research published by Baringa, a global consultancy firm, found that companies that refi between now and 2030 will pay over $380 billion in additional interest. The amount to the largest single increase in debt-related costs and the highest cumulative interest payments total ever faced by U.S. companies. Now, what I think is going to happen here is I believe these corporations are going to start saying, hey, look, we're going to offer employees $150,000, $200,000, $300,000. Remember when UPS was doing this? UPS was saying, hey, we'll give you $170,000 a year to plus benefits and a 5-year contract agreement just to drive trucks. Now, look, driving trucks is it's not an easy job. It's a lot of work. But $170,000? That's pretty crazy. A couple of years ago, that was a doctor's salary. That was a lawyer's salary. People, they strive to hit $100,000. Now, $170,000 to drive a truck? What I think is going to happen is we're going to start seeing more situations like this. Like, for example, Walmart. They came out 7 hours ago, Bloomberg, saying, you know what? Forget $100,000, $170,000, $500,000. We'll give you $500,000 to be a manager, right? We're going to start seeing a lot more of these offers, and people are going to say, hey, look, I'm tapped out. I got tons of credit card debt. I got insurance going up in my house. Everything is going crazy. I need more money. I'd love to work for small businesses. I'd love to support America, because America really is a small business owner. But, right now, I need to go where the money's at. It's the corporations. And what are corporations going to do? They're probably going to pay this for a year, 2 years, 3 years. But do you think by 2028, corporations are going to be paying managers $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year? No. No, they're going to be automating this entire process where people are going to be going into stores and they're going to be going in facial recognition. They're going to be automating the entire store. There might be, a handful of employees. They're probably going to reduce headcount inside of these stores by 60, 70, 80%. It's going to be a completely different shopping experience is what we're going to be walking into. One in which that they don't need employees that are $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 a year, right? So we're going to start to see this major shift where corporations are going to say, look, we're here to help you. We need to offer a livable wage. We have to do this. We have to, support America. But ultimately, I think the only people that are really supporting America are going to be small business owners. They're the ones that are supporting, Main Street, not supporting Wall Street. But as Main Street goes down, Wall Street goes up. And that's what it looks like we're walking into. Now, I'm not saying this to, put out information that's going to make people concerned, but if you just look at the facts, the facts are pretty clear. If you look at what's happened in the middle class the last couple of years, it's been pretty dramatic. Like, the cost of living is absolutely crazy. And we're walking into a scenario where the costs are going to continue to rise as corporations begin to gain more and more and more market share over the housing market, over the overall economy. And what do? Well, they have a fiduciary duty to their shareholders to increase prices and drive revenue. That's what they have. Small business owner, they know a lot of their customers by first name basis. Like, they don't have shareholders. They have relationships that they cherish. Well, everything's about to go through a really, really big shift here as we start to step into this. Look, Newsweek just came out saying, look, nearly half of the 80,000 small businesses surveyed said that they'll likely not survive another 4 years. 2 weeks ago, right? 80,000, they're saying 40,000 businesses will close. I think that's probably on the low end. If you have 43% of Americans that are, there's some 43% of American small businesses unable to pay rent in April before this $3 trillion debt refinance that has to, take place. What do you think about this entire situation? Where do you see American small business going, and what is your plan to build wealth? I believe owning your own home outright is a really, really great, first step. Having a really good business or working for a great company. If you have a great relationship with your employer and you've been working there for years and you're supplying a lot of value, cherish that. Cherish that. Those relationships are worth more than their weight in gold. So cherish that. If you have a small business, figure out how to grow it. Figure out how to reduce expenses, make it more profitable. Save as much as you possibly can. I know that we're in an inflationary world, but having cash, when things hit the fan, people need money. If they're willing to sell things for money. So if you have cash, you have a strong line of credit, you have great credit score, you're in a really good spot, you'll be able to, put yourself in a better spot. And if you don't, I think the next 6 months, the next year, will be more important than ever to, correct any issues that you might have going on. What do you think about this? Let's have a conversation below. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item in your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free call for tomorrow. Catch you next video.